Right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about something kind of embarrassing for me. Something which actually just tanked my mental health for a good part of last year. And the reason it's embarrassing is because you think at 23 years of age, I would have moved past this and I would not allow myself to get affected in the way that I have been. We're going to talk about social media and how the internet is literally designed to make you angry. And stick around to the end, because if I hadn't realized this, if I hadn't caught myself in these patterns, then I wouldn't have been able to make the changes that I have now, which has just completely changed how I use internet for the better. Because, like it or not, it's here to stay. You know, it's an essential part of our lives. So you want to be able to use it in a way that's just not fucking absolutely triggering you 24/7. So basically what's been going on is I've had so many situations over the last year where I allow myself to get baited by anonymous people on social media. I feel like on the internet, on social media platforms, everyone is always reacting. Everyone's always angry. Everyone's always ready for a fight. And I've been really guilty of that, just getting baited by comments on Instagram or comments on Reddit, any particular subject, and just feeling like I have to respond. Something just within me just makes me angry and compels me to respond, like I need to put this person in their place. How can they think that? I can't just let them go about their life thinking this particular thing. Just feeling triggered and like kind of offended, which makes me sound kind of sensitive. And I generally go about my life and like, I'm quite a calm individual. I don't really get angry that much in real life. But just certain things like, okay, so usually this would go on in like quite niche spaces online. Like, you know, on Twitter, you have like different communities on Twitter. Like you have football Twitter. Before that, for me, it was music Twitter. But every like community that you'll find on the internet, there's always going to be some level of like fighting or people trying to rage bait each other or get a reaction. People can argue about like the dumbest things, okay, but yeah, for me, the last year it's been football Twitter. Just getting wound up by people. Sometimes reacting to people, but sometimes provoking people as well into these online arguments, like responding to people that I know are like not trying to have a good faith discussion and just kind of trying to wind them up, really. And yeah, I've been really affected by this. I don't really see many people talking about this, but it kind of got to a point where I was just waking up angry and recognizing like the detrimental effect this was having on me, like making me a lot more like reactive and kind of sensitive in terms of my emotions, like just getting triggered easily by things that should not bother me. And just feeling like stressed, like I've literally been having like shower thoughts about fucking strangers who I argued with on the internet, like creating like fake situations in my head, like, oh, like I'm going to prove this person wrong or they're going to look really stupid. Thinking about comments from weeks and weeks ago, sometimes like years ago. It's crazy. And allowing it to like work me up into this like really kind of annoyed, angry state. Letting these like fucking faceless strangers on the internet live rent-free in my head. Sometimes I'm like waking up and I'm just annoyed. And I wanted to kind of dive into the psychology behind this, because I've been learning all about this area of emotional regulation, understanding what's really triggering this, why it affects me so much that like even when I try to be the bigger person, I feel like I've lost and I'm playing back this situation in my head for hours and hours after, sometimes days, thinking that I've like lost the battle. So this is really interesting to me. So basically, what we've got to understand is that, our brain, when it comes to social media and like online arguments and stuff, our brain can't tell the difference between that and like a real life situation where you're in some kind of physical danger. You know how you kind of have like two brains. It's kind of weird. You have your thinking brain and you have your nervous system. Your nervous system, which is responsible for like threat detection, puts you in fight or flight response. And it also kind of like stores memories as well. It stores memories of like emotions, of times where you felt disrespected or embarrassed or like just in any form of danger. And it holds on to that. It holds on to these like emotional memories and it brings them out in similar situations where you think you're in danger. But yeah, basically, what social media does, what these arguments do, triggers the exact same response that your body would do when you're under threat, like in real life, like when there's like a legitimate threat to your safety. So with me, like I would wake up thinking about these like online beefs and stuff. I find like I'd kind of check in with my body and I'd like feel my heart beating, my vision in some ways kind of like narrowing. Like your vision kind of narrows when you're under threat. It's like a survival response. You feel your body starts to feel like really tense. The anger is setting in. It's the exact same situation as your nervous system putting you in fight mode when you're in danger as a way of like protecting yourself. Like you have fight or flight. These are just two ways that your body protects yourself from danger. Your nervous system, it either creates those feelings of anxiety, which would be kind of more aligned with flight, like I need to leave this situation immediately, or it creates that anger, that fight mode, like I need to fight back, I need to like reclaim my honor after I've been disrespected. Either way, what your nervous system is expecting, at the very least, whatever happens, whether you fight or you fly, it's expecting some kind of like resolution, like this is going to come to an end one way or another. I'm going to beat someone up, I'm going to get beat up, or I'm just going to leave. It expects the end of this. Now, why social media platforms know this as well? They know what they're doing. Why social media makes this so difficult is you could literally go back and forth with someone over such a long time. Days and days and days you could be arguing. I know because I've done it. I've had like weeks worth of arguments with people. Maybe more when I was younger, but it could still happen now. Commenting back and forth, back and forth. Where does it end? There's no resolution. Your body, like, your nervous system only expects you to be in fight or flight mode for a short period of time. Like, if you're gonna die, it's likely to happen within like a short interval of time. If there's like if you're like in the wild and there's like a fucking saber tooth stalking you, you're either gonna run away, and that's it, or you're gonna get killed, or you're gonna fight back. Either way, it's done. It's done in the course of about 30 seconds to a minute. Because it's not good for your body to like be in this mode. It's like chronic. It makes you chronically stressed out. Like it's worse for your health. With social media, your body doesn't know. It's confused when to take you out of fight mode. If you're constantly just seeing like comments on your feed, people who reply to you, you're just constantly stuck in fight mode. There's no resolution there. And you're just constantly angry. You're just angry. That's one of the reasons why social media is like so damaging for me. It's because even though I'm like a calm person, I just get triggered really easily. Just get triggered by shit. And it affects your mood in such a bad way because it's like there's just the loop. the loop that gets opened, there's no end to it. And even when you try to be the bigger person, even when you walk away, it gets stuck on your mind because that loop hasn't truly been closed. You've allowed someone to disrespect you and you walk away. The loop doesn't get closed. It feels like you fucking lost. And that's why even when you try to be the bigger person, you're like, fuck, it feels like I've just kind of lost the battle here. It feels like I've allowed myself to be disrespected. So that's kind of the basic layer of this, the basic understanding. But if we want to go even deeper, what I've realized, why I'm so inclined to like get into these arguments and stuff, it's a lot deeper than that. We're getting into a very deep topic here. But basically, when I was talking about how your nervous system stores these like emotional memories of times when you kind of felt disrespected, and it learns to like activate your nervous system in similar situations. What we've got to understand is that a lot of what we get annoyed at, and this just applies to real life as well, a lot of it comes from the past. Like, it's quite a difficult concept to understand, but when you get angry at something, which maybe doesn't really warrant that kind of response from you, it applies to anxiety as well, things you're scared of. You're not reacting to the situation unfolding in front of you. You're actually reacting to the past, something which happened to you in the past. You're reacting to that. Your nervous system is reacting to that in the present day. So if I was to get triggered by someone making like a mean comment about my football team, which, you know, affects me a lot more than you'd think, you would understand if you're a football fan. And I read that and I get triggered. I'm getting triggered by something in the present day, but the anger that comes up from my nervous system, it's not about what I'm seeing right now. It's about the past. Anger and anxiety, fight or flight, these are ways that your nervous system protects you from feeling something really negative, from feeling some kind of shame, embarrassment, any kind of negative emotion. It's our body's way of protecting us from taking us out of that situation. But that is something our nervous system learns over time because of past experiences. I've talked about this before, like I had a really difficult time in school with bullies. I moved to this new area when I started high school, moved 200 miles south, didn't know anyone, just had a terrible time for like a long period of school. And that's where this comes from. It's those feelings of like being disrespected, being embarrassed by people in public, being made to feel like some great shame, and not having like any clear resolution to that. My nervous system is storing these memories of those things that happened to me, of those situations where I felt constantly under threat, and my nervous system at the time was just going crazy, constantly being activated as like a way of protecting myself, and I'm holding on to all of those feelings. So when I see something online that makes me feel disrespected or powerless, sure, I'm getting triggered by that, but my nervous system is remembering how I used to feel. It's remembering those feelings of like shame, powerlessness, allowing myself to be disrespected, and creating those same feelings, that same fight or flight in me that makes me want to like take control of the situation. That's why I just constantly feel the need to comment, even in situations where I know nothing good will come of it. Even when I'm kind of provoking other people, I'll still comment. And because of the way social media works, it can just go on forever. And my body is just kind of under chronic stress. Like something as innocuous as like a fucking teenager commenting on social media, some brainwash shit, is enough to trigger me. And because of the way social media works, the stuff which is most divisive and controversial is what appears on my feed, because that's what has the most comments. The shit where people who are looking to argue will actually like be seen, be visible. So that's kind of the gist of it, how I'm learning to deal with this, because I have made a lot of progress just in a short time. First of all, it's just being aware of this, being aware that when you get triggered by something online, you're not really reacting to what's in front of you. You're reacting to the past, reacting to something some kind of past experience which made you feel like some deep sense of shame or embarrassment or disrespect. And those same feelings are being triggered in you now, but like, you're not reacting to this in front of you, you're reacting to something different. You're reacting to old fear. And it's two separate things. We're not aware of it going on, but just becoming aware of it takes it from being like this automatic thing that you don't realize is happening to like, okay, I acknowledge these are two separate experiences. Because your nervous system works faster than your brain. Your thinking brain doesn't have a chance to evaluate whether this is worth getting annoyed at. But once you separate the two, you immediately give this situation like 10 times less power. It's kind of complicated to explain, but try and kind of dissect the emotions involved when this next happens to you. Like, recognize that what's happening in front of you and what you're angry about is two separate things. And that immediately kind of allows you to calm down. The other thing that really helped was just knowing that when I say you've got to be the bigger person, and it's difficult because your fight loop isn't closed, you've got to find a way to regulate your nervous system, because otherwise that anger is just going nowhere. You've got to release that energy. So what I like to do is either I'll just go mad and just hit a set of push-ups, just do like fucking 30 push-ups in a row, and that lets the anger out of me. The gym and stuff has always been good for letting go of anger, like just that release of energy from your body. Or just do some deep breathing. Just do like 20 sets, deep breaths, in through the nose for like 5 seconds, out through the mouth for 8 seconds, give or take. And that will calm your nervous system down. It will like release that energy. So yeah, now I know this, like, I'm trying harder to like not put myself in situations where I know I'm going to get wound up, like certain posts you look at on Instagram. I don't really have Instagram, by the way. I just check it on my like computer. Don't really like having it on my phone. But checking certain posts, reading the comments when you know like what you're going to find, like why would you do that? So not removing the things that are going to trigger you. But honestly, like now I like kind of have this little ritual. It's like, I can read things which would previously have made me annoyed, and I just know like, okay, I don't have to react to this. Like I look at it and I just feel nothing. I never really thought that would happen to me. But yeah, I hope this video has been useful. I don't see nearly enough people talking about this. When it's crazy because the entire internet is just angry people. Everyone is reacting. And they don't need to, but they're just doing it automatically. It's become such a habit for them. So what we're trying to do is make this habit less automatic. We want to become conscious of our patterns and why we feel the need to do it. But yeah, that's all from me. See you in the next one.